This is the Temple Edfu, and Edfu was dug up by the French archaeologist Auguste Mariette in the 1800s, and he was bored at night time, so he wrote a story that ultimately became the opera Aida. This is the entrance of Luxor, Temple in Luxor, and it used to have two obelisks, one here, which is still here, and one here on this base. But this one was given by the first king of Egypt, Muhammad Ali, king of modern Egypt, Muhammad Ali, to the French as a gift. So what should be there is another obelisk, and where it actually is today is in Place de la Concorde in Paris. Here in the Temple of Philae we have very good documentary evidence that tracks us from the period of Alexander the Great to the period of Napoleon Bonaparte. It starts with Ptolemy III. Ptolemy III was the third Ptolemaic ruler after Alexander the Great. And you see in the carvings here where Ptolemy III portrays himself as the son of Isis, the son of God, again picking up on old ancient Egyptian traditions. The notion of virgin birth, the notion of being the son of God, is not something new just to Christendom or to Jesus Christ. In fact, it's fairly common in the ancient world, and in my mind that puts more skepticism to the story of Jesus Christ. We move from Ptolemy up to Hadrian in about 118 AD. This is Hadrian's Gate. From Emperor Hadrian, the most widely travelled emperor of the Roman Empire. When Constantine accepted Christianity for the Roman Empire, he was very tolerant to accept other religions. It was a very smart piece of political control. But by about the 390s, the tolerance of other religions collapsed. So what you saw was a number of the old temples, such as this one, being converted for worship to Christianity. So they carved out the old pagan symbols. The reason they used the old temples is because the economy in the late 300s, early 400s was really going down the toilet. Now, as the economy picked up, they built new churches and didn't have to use the old temples. So you see a transition from the old pagan symbols being chiseled out like this one, to only the faces being chiseled out, to a little bit further along you see that they've basically been left alone. And this marks where you've gone from the period of tolerance of Constantine to intolerance around the 390s, and as the economy picked up, they stopped carving out the old pagan symbols because they went and built their churches. You can see here the crosses that are carved into the side of this temple, and that dates back to the time of Justinian in about 622, because Justinian was the Roman emperor that really enforced Christianity through the rest of the Roman Empire at the exclusion of all others. So by the time of Justinian, in about 622 AD, you had the completion of the adaptation of temples like this to Christendom. And you find little niches and altars for the Christian worship here. Up on the wall behind me here is graffiti left by Napoleon Bonaparte's troops, and you can see up there they have the longitude and latitude of Paris. It's up there because that's where the sand was in the time of Napoleon Bonaparte's troops. Now, Napoleon was here invading Egypt as one of his first acts because he wanted to follow in the footsteps of Alexander the Great. He failed.